In the thriving town of Ondari, a place where merchants bustled, artists sang on corners, and neighbors trusted one another like family, there lived a girl named Amira. Amira was born with nothing. Her parents, simple farmers, had passed away when she was just a child. Left alone, she survived however she could, sometimes by honesty, sometimes by cleverness. Amira grew up watching how the town admired wealth. The rich merchants' daughters wore shimmering fabrics. They commanded respect without lifting a finger. Meanwhile, Amira's patched dresses and dusty sandals made her invisible. She promised herself one thing: I will never be small again. At 19, Amira returned to Ondari, different. She wore flowing gowns from faraway lands, spoke of trading caravans that crossed deserts, of silk and gold and spices no one else could find. She spun tales of connections with kings and queens beyond the mountains. The townspeople, hungry for prestige and riches, hung on her every word. Soon they trusted her with their coins. If you invest with me, she promised sweetly, I will triple it in one season. You will be rich beyond dreams. People lined up. Merchants, tailors, farmers, even the old gravedigger who had buried her parents. One by one, she took their money, smiled her dazzling smile, and swore their futures were golden. Amira didn't just steal their savings, she stole their hopes. With her newfound wealth, Amira built herself a grand mansion at the edge of Ondari, walls as white as bones, gates as tall as pride. She threw lavish parties, inviting only the wealthiest and most admired. The same people who once ignored her now begged for her attention. But inside the mansion's stone walls, Amira felt hollow. No laughter echoed in her halls. No friend stayed past the wine. Her heart was heavy, but she ignored it. I won, she told herself at night, until she received the letter. One cool evening, a stranger arrived in Ondari. He wore simple robes, carried no gold, and spoke little, but there was something unsettling about him, like he could see through people's souls. He listened quietly to the townspeople's tales about Amira. He asked questions. He waited. Then he did something no one expected. He offered a reward to anyone who could prove her riches were real. At first, no one dared, but the seeds of doubt were planted. Soon, the blacksmith's apprentice whispered about the empty warehouses Amira claimed were full of silk. The baker's wife mentioned the unsigned trade agreements she had once glimpsed, and finally, the widow who had given Amira her husband's life savings wept openly, crying, "There are no spices, no caravans. She lied to us." It happened slowly, like cracks spreading through ice. The people who had once praised Amira stopped greeting her. The parties grew emptier. The merchants demanded their investments back. Amira tried to bluff, tried to dazzle them with more promises, but the spell had broken. One night, a mob gathered outside her mansion, torches in hand, not with violence, but with cold demands for truth. Cornered, exposed, Amira stood at her balcony in her finest gown, looking down at the faces she had once enchanted. "Why?" someone shouted. "We trusted you," cried another. And for the first time, Amira's voice shook. "Because no one ever trusted me when I had nothing," she whispered. "Because I was tired of being invisible." But no excuse could mend the broken dreams she had sold. The town stripped her of everything: the mansion, the gowns, the jewelry. She was left with the same patched clothes she had once worn as a child. Amira wandered from town to town after that, nameless, a shadow of her former self. Yet wherever she went, mothers told their children the tale of Amira, the girl who sold dreams built on lies, only to drown in her own deception. And in Ondari, they rebuilt, slowly, carefully, trusting less easily, but living more wisely. They carved into the fountain's stone base for all to remember. Not all that shines is gold. Not all who promise dreams can deliver them.